Mehdi Zarhloul, everybody. Everybody knows Mehdi. Mehdi is going to speak about his journey from a cook to a CEO. Everyone give Mehdi a round of applause. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Hi, everyone. I said hummus and pita. I don't know why they want me to come up here and talk about technology. I don't get it. But I'll tell you why. My name is Mehdi, and I'm the owner and founder of Crazy Pita, Rotisserie and Grill. We're next month, August, we're about to complete 19 years in operation. And it's very exciting. We currently have 3 stores here in town, and we are expanding franchising in many other states that I will touch base shortly. I came to this country at the age of 16 years old from Casablanca, Morocco. I had no idea how to speak English. The only thing I knew is to say yes, no, and when I look at a pretty girl, I say, I love you. And few words I learned from Baywatch. People ask me why I came here. I came searching for Pamela Anderson, so I went to LA, kept looking and looking, couldn't find her, came back here, and I was telling the story to my dentist one day, and he says, I can introduce you. Well, this was 40 years later. I'm like, no way. That's the last thing I want to do. So when I arrived to Washington, D.C. at the age of 16, I went to school. I went to Montgomery College. I went to learn English. And I needed to make a buck to survive and make living. I came with $30 in my pocket. All what I wanted, I tell my father, buy me one-way ticket, and I'll take care of the rest. So my first job was in a restaurant called Skewers, a Mediterranean restaurant. And while I was going to school, you know, DC was snow, cold. I hated it. I did 2 years college, then I decided to leave. I enjoyed the restaurant industry so much. My first job at 16 years old, they put me as a dishwasher. I used to go, when I first applied for the job, you memorize in your hand, may I speak to the manager, and you smile. Then the manager comes and you go, I'm looking for a job, and you smile. That's it. And you don't know what they're saying next. So one of the people translated, and they put me as a dishwasher. I broke every single glass, every dish. I had no idea. The only thing you knew about restaurants from where I come from is you go there and eat. You have no idea how it operates. You don't need to. We eat at home most of the time. The owner was Andy Shalal. I still talk to him once in a while. He was like, I'm going to put you as a cook. You're breaking me. You're costing me money. Well, 40 years ago, we didn't have RoboCoops. We were chopping things by hand. So they will give me a case of onions. So a lot of crying. Parsley, we used to make tabbouleh. You all know what tabbouleh is? It was chopping it by knife. I didn't know how to use a knife then. It was taking me like 2 to 3 hours. Hated it so much. Fought with the chef in that kitchen. I just couldn't do it. We did it for a week. I'm like, there is no way. I quit, but the owner was like, no, come. I'm going to put you in the front. So he put me as a busboy. Now, I didn't know how to carry plates. I was like trays, water. I spoke no English. It was the same thing. Then he was like, what am I going to do with this guy? So it just didn't work out. Every position he puts me in, it just didn't work out. You know, you're just on the... So he was like, you know what, I'm going to put you as a supervisor. Now I put you learn I put you in all the spaces as a dishwasher, as a cook, in front of the house. Why don't you start doing errands for me? Start doing the deposits, start doing opening the store, close the store. I shined at it. I was so good at supervising. So I found myself in charge, in control. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And that's how my management career started. After I finished my 2 years of college in Montgomery College, then I decided to pursue computer science. So I joined another college because at that time, everything was computer just starting, and we had those big boxes with greens, you still. So I learned programming and learned Unix and COBOL then, you guys are familiar with all that. It was what I was doing that I was still in the restaurant business. And I turned 24 then, graduated, got my first job as for a company called Boat US. Hated it. I couldn't see myself as a desk person. It was just horrible. Just couldn't sit in front of a computer and just typing and typing and typing. So I decided to pack my car and move to California. Landed the new job with a company called the Four Seasons Hotels at the age of 24. Right in the middle of Wilshire Boulevard and Rodeo Drive. Wow, what an experience. I'd be like going there. It was, they hired me as an assistant manager. Next thing you know, I have, the actors then, Sharon Stone was having dinner in my dining room, and Tom Cruise, Al Pacino. I'm like, oh my God, this is so amazing. At the age of 24, and you're like in the middle of a TV. Did amazingly good with that company, and then they start sending me and to open hotels all over the globe. I joined that company when they had about 12 hotels, and we scaled them for 10 years to up to about 80 hotels. An experience I will never forget. I will do it all over again. No, I won't. But it's I recommend it for anybody that's starting out in their career in the food and beverage to join a hotel firm and just travel and go discover about other cultures and see what they do and learn how to operate restaurants or hotels. And it's just an opportunity that I recommend for anybody to do. Traveling is amazing. I came back for 10 years, traveled the whole globe, opened so many hotels, so many restaurants from fine dining. And I came back to Los Angeles where I was home based, and I decided to open my own store. I was driving one day and with a friend of mine, and he goes, I told him, I said, we stopped, if you're familiar with LA, in the corner of Olympic and Doheny, there is a restaurant right in the corner, and I said, I'm gonna go open me a pita place. He looks at me, he goes, you're so crazy to open a pita place. You leave your 6-figure salary to go open a restaurant. And I look around, and there was a restaurant called Crazy Fish with a K. And we kind of both looked at each other, and I said, I'm gonna call it Crazy Pita. And the rest is history. I go to my boss office the next day. I gave him my 2 weeks notice. He goes, you're so crazy. And tried to open a restaurant in Los Angeles. In 2005, there was no way. Everything was so expensive. I go to restaurants when the area where I was located, and the rent was the minimum 500 square feet was $10,000. Now you get a sticker shock in front of you. So the idea to come to Las Vegas just popped up, and we moved here in Henderson, and we opened our first store in August 16, 2006. I walked into this office, this city right here, and I was asking questions about the business, and the lady goes, would you like a cup of coffee, sir? I'm like, I'm not moving. I'm staying here. This is nice people around in Henderson. And the search began for a space, and we started our first location at the District Green Valley Ranch, and we opened Town Square after that, and then we opened downtown Summerlin. This is all past for the last 19 years that happened. And here comes the technology part that we do now. Opening a restaurant in the beginning was all exciting. It was all fun, right? You're excited, and then you get your first challenges starts, then you get hit with the economy. And then what do? You go to a bank, you go borrow money, they look at you, they're like, excuse me, we're not going to give you any money. We already gave you money to open a restaurant. Why are you asking for more? Go figure it out. Then you do. You go figure it out. In the Four Seasons hotels, when bad economy, somebody always comes and finance everything and pay the labor. You know, you ask for a sink to open here, it magically appears. Here, you ask for a sink, you have to pay for it by yourself from your own pocket. Of course, the restaurant business, once you have your own, is one of, and in all honesty, the restaurant business is one of the toughest business out there. Everybody will tell you that. But is one of the most fun, exciting business to be in, once you know how to operate it. As we continue with our stores, we did so well, the economy hit, we were scared. All of a sudden, everybody downgraded from full service, came down to fast casual, and my business thrived. It was like day and night. We were actually printing pitas. You know, we were. It was so amazing. And then we decided to open our second store when we went to Town Square, and next thing we started downtown Summerlin, and it was just going up, 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 up to a point where for 15 years of my life, life was beautiful. You move to the big house, you get your 2 dogs, your 3-door garage, and then COVID hits. Worst day of my life, March 17. Closed 2020. Closed all my stores. What do? You lose everything. I didn't want to open my stores for to-go, although we were qualified to do to-go. Most of my business was doing takeouts. And I don't want to die, cooking a pita. I was like, I gotta make sure it's, a lot of people. I mean, you close your restaurants, you're done. Thankfully, the government came for us 2 months later. That's what governments do during emergencies. They come for you and they give you money and they help you out and you will start all over again. If you remember the PPP. So it was amazing. Then we opened and we couldn't find people to work. So I found by myself all my 3 stores running around. I have no cashiers. The cooks were in the back. They had their mask. They don't deal with nobody, so they show up, but nobody wants to send their kids to work. So what do I do? That's when technology comes in. I found a company in Pakistan that operates through Zoom. So we had, if you remember, if you've been to Crazy Pita, there was a screen where you had the person taking your orders while he was in Pakistan and was ringing it up for you. It was an amazing technology. Some small company, they came up with a great idea. And now you have somebody ringing up your orders taken, and it was so, for me it was great because now I don't have to be everywhere in all my stores. Then I started attending new conference and I learned everything you need to know about technology, because if you're not doing any technology in your business today, you're done, especially in the restaurant business. We started implementing back of house systems because labor, you cannot find anybody to work. Accounting systems, processes, equipment. We started, just to give you a few examples, when our accounting softwares, there were already, AI was already established and being done. We're putting all this data. That's right now, some of our accounting software use AI because they help us doing inventory. They're doing pre-ordering. When I have my cooks, they go now in the restaurants, there is a screen for them that's generated by AI that tells them exactly what they need to prepare for that day. So we had to cut down from the management because we couldn't find any managers. There was a problem, we couldn't find people to work. Plus, you have the labor issue that's going up. When you pay, we believe that everybody needs to get paid a lot of money. We do, and we do pay some positions $20 an hour. But sadly, you cannot pay 50 people for $20 an hour. Otherwise, you'll be minus because the equation doesn't work. That's why you see if you go to McDonald's, they started doing kiosks from 10 years ago. And they all are closing their kitchens. You're gonna see a lot of robotics inside their kitchens. They're flipping, they call them flippies. A lot of them arms, they're flipping burgers. So I learned so much about technology that we went ahead and I implemented in every aspect of my operation. The reason I did this, in order to survive. Not everybody can afford to do it. You don't see a lot of new restaurants today opening because they haven't adapted to technology. It's expensive to implement in restaurants. And in order to grow your business, it's either you have to stay at 1, 2 stores, or 3, or you have to go to 100 stores or up. I'm not the type that sits on the couch at 5 p.m. and watch Channel 3 News. I had to grow my company, and I decided to start a franchising program. The franchising program came up. I was traveling to London one day, and they upgraded me to first class. And when I went back home, when I talk about first class, we're not talking business class to London. First class, they tell you, sir, come upstairs. You know, the champagne and the trouble, and you get to London and you feel so good. You know, you don't have, your back doesn't ache, you know, you're not awake for 2 days. And I Googled the number of how much that ticket cost. It was a lot of money round trip. It was $16,000. So I figured out 3 restaurants not gonna cut it. So I decided to grow my company bigger. I said, okay, I'm gonna start a franchise program. And I went to banks to get some more capital. And you know, a lot of banks, they said, you know, you're tapped out, buddy. We can't give you to establish your dreams. It requires a lot of money, what you're asking for. But we recommend for you to go open number 4, number 5. We'll give you 1, we'll give you 2. Well, to get to 100 stores, it's gonna, how long? I'm gonna be like 85 years old if we do it in that manner. So we took a different route. We went to the venture capitalist route to raise capital and private equity. And we talked to so many in the country. We approached, we went to conferences. And they all said, you're too small for us. You have only 3 restaurants. Okay. We found a couple of private equities that were gonna give us some cash. But they want 90% of your company. A lot of you are familiar with this thing, right? No offense to any private equity or any investors in this room. We love you. We still want your money. So what do you do? So one day, and this is my real story, and this is the first time I'm gonna repeat it, don't say it. I was watching TV, and I listened to a gentleman named Charles Schwab giving a speech and talking. I thought Charles Schwab was somebody that died 200 years ago. It was like, I thought it was like Rockefeller, Wells Fargo, or Bank of America started a company, and here he is talking in front of me. Because it's a world of finance that none of us know about. We do what we do best. We know how to cook. We know how to create pillboxes. You know how to operate businesses. But it's a finance world out there that we had no clue. So I decided to learn it so quickly. And I decided there is nothing this man can do that I cannot do. So I learned that business. I built a company, I built a business for 18 years. I decided to build a corporation for 6 months. And now I'm gonna take it public in 12 months. I learned everything I wanna learn about this business. I want to know where the money comes, where the money goes, who has it, where does it, and guess what? All that money that's being invested in the stock market, it's all your money. It's just somebody manages it for you. So recently I started the crowdfund. I started it in October, and I did it for 6 months. So I built basically a pyramid And I said, I'm going to follow what this country gives us. I believe in this country so much. The system that it provides for us, from any aspect, the information and the tools and the resources available. I went to the SEC website. I talked to a lot of people, and I did exactly what they're doing. I built a pyramid from scratch, and I get some little investments from friends and family. Then I get more investments on top. Then I get more investments. And now we closed the crowd fund, and now we just hired a company, Coral Capital of Atlanta, who's going to take us public, and we're about 6 to 8 months away from doing so. The message that I'm trying to deliver here is you're going to meet a lot of people in your path, and they're all going to tell you how you should run your company, or they're all going to tell you how to do it or how to get there. I decided to come up with my own strategy, build my own train, and embark the people in it. When I started this venture, the first person that I needed to embark is somebody that understands the stock market. So I went and I hired a company, a first one, a consultant that can help me all do the structures. And we partnered together. Then the second thing, I hired a finance guy that specialized in accounting of the stock markets. Then I decided to hire the best of the best in people in my company. I hired the best marketers in the United States that deals with Google and Meta and all those big companies. I made them and convinced them to join my team. They all work for me now for hummus and pita and tzatziki on the side. Because they believe in the mission, they believe what we're doing. They believe that the next steps or the levels that we're going to take Crazy Pita nationwide. The sky is the limit. When people ask me, well, how many do you want to open? How many stores do you want to have in your future? Well, you can only open so much. It depends on your team. If you have a bigger team, you're going to open more. You can open 10 in 1 year, maybe 15, maybe 20, maybe 50. But my goal is to reach the top 10 restaurants in the nation. That's my goal. That's my dream. I dream big. But it's doable because I started the path. I started the path to get there. Recently, we opened a new store inside Walmart store, a franchise location on Rainbow and Spring Mountain. When I got the opportunity to do it, I knew this was my moment to shine. Rolled my sleeve, opened that store in less time. Walmart wanted me to open it in 3 months. I opened it in 2. Did one of the best grand openings. The place is busy every day. You have an existing audience already. Now, when they did the grand opening, the next day, 4 people showed up with suits. And they said, sir, we would like you to open more stores with us. What is Lorraine? Oh, here it is. Here is the show. This is how many crazy pitas I can have in the nation. Up to 1,500 stores. There's 5,000 Walmarts out there. We have certain demographic and certain areas where we operate, and we use technology to find out which the best for us. We use some sites. I'm sure you're familiar with Placer AI and Site Zeus. It's a company that we hired. They come here, they go to all my location, and they study my customer. They actually study you. And they look for people like you in all over the country, and this is what we have. So now I have to open 1,500 stores within the next. Be careful what you wish for sometimes. But what got me here is the hard work that we've done all these years. And now it's different ball game to get to 2,000 stores. I'm still continue to hire. I get people. I got people in real estate. I got people in digital. I have the marketing. I have 3 marketers. I call them one the Navy, the Air Force, and digital, and the CMO, and they do some amazing thing. Marketing is the technology behind it is just so amazing what this can do today. The system that I did, what I created, what's going to get me here is I've been working and I created a system, a technology system that is centric, the POS, that is centric around my guests and my employees. I cater to 2 people, my guests and my employees. The system I created connected, it's an ecosystem that you find is connected to accounting, it's connected to marketing, it's connected to HR, payroll, third parties. I'll forget to mention when I was approaching, when people were telling me you're too small, this is a good one. When I have 3 stores and you look at them, well, how do you get to 10 stores? What do you do? So I decided to use technology to my advantage, and I went and I opened a lot of virtual brands. To open a virtual brand doesn't cost much. It costs $2,000. Every store now inside Crazy Pita, I ran 2 other brands alongside. Salad Madness and Chicken Genius. I'm sure if you order a lot of Uber Eats, you will see them in your screen. And the reason I did it, so now I did for multiple reasons. Now, one, I'm over 10 stores without needing $500,000 to open, using the same cooks, the same landlord, the same footprint. And guess what? I sell a lot of salads out there with them. When you go and order Uber Eats, and your screen, you have about 9 restaurants that show up, 3 of them are mine. So the chances of clicking in one is me. And I can add the 4th one and the 5th one after that. But it doesn't end because now we have competition. If I'm thinking it, a lot of other restaurateurs are thinking about the same thing. We just officially created a new concept that is hoodless. For all these Walmart stores, we cut down the cost by $200,000 per store. Now I don't need a hood anymore. Technology has evolved, and I'm going to be one of the first restaurants that's going to implement them nationwide. We're signing a deal with a company called AltoSham, building all these units. Everything will be electric. Sustainability. Don't need gas, don't need hood, don't need fire systems, don't need any of it. It just cut the cost by about 40%. But I decided to add one more component in my restaurants. You won't find it here yet, but it's coming. The one common item that is globally that always people love and always been wanted to do it is I will be adding ice cream inside my stores. We're still foodies at the end of the day. Well, that is my story, people. If you have any question for me, please don't hesitate. Yes, sir.
You're about 12 months away from IPO?
About 8 or less, yeah.
Are there any shares available in the secondary markets?
The crowd fund for friends and family is officially closed, but we have a 506 right now open. So you can reach out to me after and I can tell you about it. There is a minimum to participate, so.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Mehdi, I'm a good friend of Dan Soul. I don't know if you remember. You go to your store. I've been going to your store for the one in the district for over 5 years. The biggest challenge I see, and this is the reason why I keep going back, is because of your personality, your staff. How do you, I guess, clone or replicate that in every single store? Because that is the crown jewel, right? That's why people go. Keep coming
Yep.
back because they want to see you, your staff. You treat people really well. So
People will come to you for the first time for the food. They will come back for the service. When I designed my systems from day one, I designed them based on acquisition and retention. What's going to make you to come back again and again, right? The food, you can go anywhere right now and get good food. There is no restaurant right now that doesn't make good food. A lot of people have service. A lot of service. All what you hear about now is guest experience, guest experience. The system that I created, I based on kindness. If those of you have been in this town long enough, you remember the Josh Stevens Foundation that we run a Be Kind program. We were behind it. We were in 400 schools and about 13 states. So when I created my steps of service, that's how I based it on Be Kind, the B-E-K. If each one of those letters means something. And it's not just about writing them and giving them to somebody to memorize it. It's about having that person, that the training program that we have in place the first 2 weeks when you hire somebody, it's very crucial. I still hire every single person in my stores as much as I can. I look for people who are positive. I look people that smile. You don't want to hire somebody who doesn't smile in front of your restaurants when the guests come in. You can teach everything else. You can teach them what a chicken pita is, what a chicken skewers, what's hummus. But the being positive, that you cannot teach. And the program, the first 2 weeks, when you hire somebody, that's the most crucial part of the training that we have in place. Yeah.
One last question, Bill.
Mehdi, also a big fan. Thank you very much for being out here. Question, as you grow, are you looking at any commissary locations?
Eventually, we will. We will have commissary locations. Yes, we will. Every one per. Well, the way I'm planning this, I'm structuring is dividing the United States into 6 segments, and we will have 6 commercial areas where we can just send our food, and so the way can stay as a uniform.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we have also a CPG line in the works. We want to be in every household. We want to be, when you be able to go to grocery stores, we want you to be able to buy some crazy Pita products. And the best thing, we're inside Walmart. We don't need permission from anybody. We just put our fringes inside our stores and do it. I'm sorry?
On Walmart, don't they have kind of a competition as far as cost? Would they consider that a competition?
Within my store, I can do anything I want. It's my store. Actually, just to let you know, Walmart I'm on a master subleasee now. I am the 4th master subleasee in the United States in the history of Walmart. First one was McDonald's, then it was Subway, then there's another company called Charlie's, and then Crazy Pita is the 4th.
There's a round of applause.
Yes, sir.
Are most of these locations their existing spaces that had restaurants prior?
All these stores were McDonald's previously.
What are you?
McDonald's equation doesn't work anymore. The cost of building McDonald's and remodeling McDonald's, the cost versus the revenues, just the equation doesn't work for them anymore. Especially with the labor, and you cannot sell a cheeseburger for $10 inside Walmart. You just really can't. You can sell a pita for $10, but not.
Are they working with other smaller chains? To fill
Yes,
those spaces?
yes. No, I'm not the only player in here. There is no way I can fill up all the stores within 1 year. So there's a lot of players. And at the end of the day, now it's becoming, now we have the stores. We just created the franchise program. I hired some of the best salespeople in the country, which I can announce it. We just signed the 40 unit deals in the Northeast right now. So we'll have, I'm getting closer to the 2,000 faster. Yes, sir.
So after getting all these no's from all the companies you went to seek funds and whatnot, maybe I might have missed it. Was there like a light bulb moment that made you take the path you have taken? Or did it just come by surprise? Okay.
No, to take the path that I want is I built my own strategy. Before I wanted to take the private equity path, right? But I just wasn't happy with the deal. I make more money out of 3 stores. That if taken the deal, I'm gonna work a lot harder for somebody else, and I'm gonna make less money than my 3 stores that I was making. So it just didn't make sense. The equation didn't pencil in. And it's all, when you go and talk to private equities, make sure it's your business. You're the one who built it. You're the one who sacrificed all the years. Do your equation and decide where you want to be and where you take it. And what are you willing to give up? Do you want to see your life successful or you want to see your product successful? Right? You can have a great life and then you can sell it at the end of the day and then sell it and let them go deal with it. It's all what you want as a person.
Thank you, Mehdi.
Well, thank you, everyone.
Mehdi, thank you so much. We're so excited for you. I think that's a great...
One more thing. Wait. I have a marketing guy who always makes me want to do things. No, it's okay. I don't need that. So if you don't mind, if I can help me so I can send this to him. When I'm going to record it, is when I say crazy, you say... So I'm going to record this, if you guys don't mind.
Just hold the mic, yeah.
Oh, hold on. Okay, guys. When I say crazy, you say...
Pita.
One more time, louder, please. When I say crazy, you say...
Pita.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mehdi. I think that's a great lesson for everybody, right? Mehdi started off right at the bottom, and look where he is today. So I think, it just shows that whenever... You can, but you've got to... you can't take the stand, but that's yours to take with you.